Hello there. Welcome to my show, COVID-19 update by Heerak for October 29th, 2020. Yeah, sometimes you think back, especially when you hear Bollywood music. I don't know if you've seen Bollywood movies, but they're great. Most of them are like love stories, and it's really romantic. They have really nice dancing, and women are beautiful. And I love watching Bollywood movies. Um, but yeah, so I have Bollywood music in the background, and I think about 1 year ago in Poland. Um, I had my episode on Bachelor in Poland, as you know. I went to Poland to deliver my academic paper on Jewish studies at the European Association of Biblical Studies. As you know, I'm a certified expert of theology and biblical studies. So I go whenever I deliver my paper, and I deliver my paper last year in 2019, EABS, European Association for Biblical Studies, which has a membership of all the theologians in Europe, European countries like England, France, Germany, Netherlands, Italy, Switzerland, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovenia, Slovakia. Um, yeah, so I delivered my paper on Jewish studies. Uh, and I said, why not kill like birds with one stone? Because as you know, I was in an intensive 2-year master's level program full time at Georgetown University School of Nursing and Health Studies for clinical nurse leader. CNL 2020, yay! We graduated, yay! On August 24, 2020. So I was, in a program very intensive for 2 years, from summer 2018 to summer 2020. So, obviously, when I went to deliver my paper on Jewish studies at the World International Conference of Leading Theologians in the World in 2019 in Poland, um, you know, uh, basically, I was in the middle of the program, like right smack in the middle. So, yeah, so, it's like, we don't really get much time off. I mean, it was like, we get like week or 2 weeks in between each semester. It's like semester of hell, like no sleep, and so, yeah, I said, I'm delivering my academic paper on latest cutting edge research on Jewish studies. All these European theologians are, like bugger eyed, trying to see me deliver my latest research, you know, so patient. But, I said, you know, I said, why not make a vacation out of it? It doesn't have to be all work, work, work. So as you know, I'm single. I'm not married. I've never been married. I don't have any children. So I want to get married to somebody beautiful and nice, good Christian, obviously. So I had a bachelor in Poland. Where better to do that than in a Catholic country like Poland? It's like 100% of the population is Christian. So you can't go wrong there, right? So I had my bachelor in Poland, as you know. Um, so the scene behind me is from that bachelor in Poland. And actually, ironically, the four ladies behind me, they're not from Poland. They were tourists in Warsaw, Poland, and they're actually from Belgium. They're like four of them are military officers in Belgian military. They just graduated from their military academies like Air Force, Belgium. It's Royal Air Force Academy of Belgium, Royal Army Academy of Belgium, Royal Navy Academy of Belgium. It's a kingdom. They have a king. So they're all like commissioned officers, and so it was like their graduation trip. you know, who better to give them some fun than Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District, because I'm just a fun person. But yeah, But yeah, that's the irony. But for those Polish people out there, majority of the people in the Bachelor in Poland, I'm the Bachelor in Poland. Majority of the bachelorettes were Polish, and if you see my Bachelor in Poland episode from months ago, you know that, right? So anyway, yeah, today is World Stroke Day, October 29th. One of the saddest thing about COVID-19, especially vis-a-vis young people, is that COVID-19 is known to give stroke to young people, like in the 20s. So, I worry about fellow, nurses. I'm a little bit older than 20, but, like I know a lot of nurses in their 20s, Even in my program, our youngest master's in clinical nurse leader program, she was 20 when she entered the program. She's brilliant. She's African American from Maryland. And we celebrated her 21st birthday, like first year of our nursing school, because she graduated from college like at 20. I graduated from college when I was 22. So like I feel like, camaraderie with her, fellow geniuses, And so she graduated from her college at 20, got accepted to Georgetown University Master of Clinical Nurse Leader program. So she started her master's program at Georgetown when she was 20. She graduated when she was 22. So we celebrated her 21st birthday. And she's African American from Maryland, local Yoko. And she's brilliant. She's really smart. I'm sure her parents are amazing to have a daughter like her. But anyway, yeah, so she's 20s, obviously. But there are other nurses who just came out of college, like Claire Paoletta, who's from Falls Church, local Yoko, from Falls Church, like 2 miles away from where I am. I'm in Arlington. I'm very close to Falls Church. So Claire Paoletta, I think she's like, well, she just graduated from Fordham University. She played varsity soccer. Like, I think it's like NAA, is it I don't know those college sports very well, but I think it's like top women's soccer league. She played for Fordham, so she's like an athlete and a scholar. So Claire Paoletta just graduated from Fordham University, did her master's at Georgetown. And my best buddy from Georgetown, she graduated from UC San Diego, and she came directly over from there. She married her college sweetheart. She actually ended up marrying a white guy. And so, yeah, she just came over there. She's in 20s. So we have a lot of nursing students in clinical nurse leader program who are like 21, 22. We had one who was 20 when she entered, 23, so yeah, apparently COVID-19 can give 20-year-olds stroke. Yeah, it's one of the things. I mean, not everybody, but some 20-year-olds get stroke. Like people who would normally not get stroke get COVID and they get stroke. Yeah, stroke. That's kind of fun doing that. Stroke. Yeah. So stroke. Stroke. Yeah. So yeah, they get stroke. Stroke. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing to laugh about, but it's kind of fun going like this and saying stroke. You try it, stroke. Isn't that fun? Stroke. But anyway, yeah. So 20-year-olds are getting stroke. 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, young people. So that's kind of distinctive to young people. According to the evidence-based research, they say, like young people, one of the ways they suffer from COVID-19 is through stroke. Obviously, stroke can paralyze you, and it could even kill you, obviously. Can you imagine getting paralyzed at age 20? I mean, you have like 80 more years to go. You're like paralyzed at age 20 from COVID-19 stroke. I mean, that could happen to you, like half of your body being paralyzed. Can you imagine that? If one of my nursing friends from clinical nurse leader, CNL 2020, yay, Georgetown University Hoyas. But anyway, can you imagine if one of my fellow CNL 2020 members get COVID and get paralyzed, half the body? I mean, they can't do nursing, right? I mean, you cannot do nursing if your half your body is paralyzed. I don't know. Can you do nursing if your half your body is paralyzed? I guess you could do telenursing, but I don't think you do. I mean, do you do telenursing? I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know of any nurses who are half paralyzed practicing as nurses. I don't know. If you nurses email me, just go to heerakforcongress.com and you can send an email through that. There's a link. Yeah, I'd love to know, if there are nurses who are paralyzed in the half of their body and practicing as nurses, there'll be something, I'd love to hear about it. But yeah, so that's, as we celebrate World Stroke Day today, generally we think of stroke as like old person's disease, right? Like old people get stroke. Like my grandmother, my mother's mother got stroke. She was paralyzed half in her body. And she needed help with toileting, she had a nurse visit her at home and certified nursing assistant visit her at home, and then my aunt took care of her basically hand and foot every need for few years, and then she died. She was really old. She lived a very full life. And obviously, we're very sad to see her being paralyzed in half of her body. She's a very active person. But can you imagine being paralyzed at age 20 something, like just out of nursing school? Can you imagine how sad that would be? But I figure we'll probably see that. We have 6 months of flu season to go. And at the rate of COVID-19 infections now, I'm sure we're going to have cases of like nurses getting COVID and getting stroke, and then being paralyzed in half of the body. We may have examples of nurses getting stroke and dying, different examples, but next 6 months, we have 6 months to go. So anything can happen. And scientists do not know what to expect yet. Because as I said, I started this show on April 2nd. And on April 2nd, there were only 7,000 dead people in America. 7,000 dead people. But now it's completely different. Now in America, we have 227,703 people dead. That's like 250,000 people died after April 2nd. You see what I'm saying? So April 2nd, you kind of basically are at the tail end of flu season. So we didn't really experience the flu season before, really. I mean, to be honest with you, 7,000 dead, that's like nothing. I mean, that is not nothing. All life is important, but can you imagine now we're going to enter flu season, 6 months long flu season? Can you imagine how many people are going to die? I mean, I'm estimating that there will be at least 3 million people who die in the next 6 months, just in the United States of America alone. Just because 6 months long. All you need is 60,000 people dying in every state for you to have 3 million people die in the United States. We could easily have 60,000 people die because we're just getting started with flu season. We don't know what's going to happen. Healthcare experts do not know what to imagine. A lot of healthcare experts thought, COVID-19 was fizzling out, right? They were saying that I've been always right, really. I mean, like 99% right. I've been saying there's going to be a third peak, in America, and that millions are going to die in America and Europe. And, spiking cases are happening in Europe. Now Germany is shutting down, France is shutting down as a country. You have these European countries nationally now shutting down. Ireland is the smartest country, obviously. They shut down first in Europe. That's how Irish survive. Irish are survivors. And that's they know how to survive. That's what we call the luck of the Irish. Just follow what the Irish people do, you'll be okay. But anyway, the Irish people shut down first, and they're the smart ones. Irish people in Ireland, because Irish people in America, I don't know. It's been a while since they made the luck of the Irish may have kind of dissipated in America, because I don't see any Irish cities really shutting down. Although Chicago did shut down, it's I think Chicago is the first city in America to shut down, and it is kind of known as an Irish city, but the mayor isn't Irish. Mayor is black, so you can't really give credit to the Irish people for the shutdown of Chicago, because Mary isn't Irish; she's black, and there are a lot of black people in Chicago as well. So yeah, but Ireland in Europe, it's 100% of the people there are like Irish. I mean, they may have some minorities, but most of them. So, but yeah, Ireland was the first country to shut down completely, and that's why you just have to follow the luck of the Irish. That's but anyway, I mean, you don't want like young people to get paralyzed from stroke. I mean, scientists do not know what's coming for the next 6 months. Yeah, think about it. I mean, you have cases proliferating. You don't know how many young people are going to get paralyzed from COVID. If they're going to get paralyzed from like a stroke. We don't know. No scientist really can predict right now what's going to happen. Really, they're trying to understand based on patterns, but because there's so many people getting infected, they're not sure what's going to happen. They don't know. They know that COVID-19 can clot your blood. They know that COVID-19 can create heart problems. Obviously they can create lung problems and pneumonia, but there's so many things COVID-19 is doing. They don't know where to start, So next 6 months, in a sense, every one of you are like guinea pigs when it comes to scientists. Every time people die, they're going to try to figure out what's going on. Did they die from a respiratory problem like pneumonia? Did they die from like a blood clotting problem as a primary problem? Was it primarily inflammation? Because obviously everything is related. You can get several things at once, but they're going to try to figure out what actually was the primary cause and effect. So like scientists, they're in a sense like scientists are kind of curious about what's going to happen. It's kind of like every one of us are like lab rats. When people die, scientists are going to study why they died, right? So for some scientists, this is an exciting time because it's a new virus, right? And they want to know what this new virus can do. It's kind of like people who join the military. They join the military to start a war or fight in a war. I wouldn't want to be involved in a war. I'm just a man of peace. I like to love people and help people. I don't really like to go around shooting people, but there are people who like to do that. That's why they join the military, especially U.S. Marines, because there's a high chance you get to do that, So some people, people have rush. I would never go bungee jumping. I would never go skydiving, but there are people who do that, and they think it's a lot of fun. In the same way, there are people who join the military, like U.S. Marines, because they love to kill. I mean, they want to kill, but they don't want to do it in a civil society. They want to do it in a war zone with other soldiers, So some soldiers, they have the rush of like kill or be killed in a war area. So they join U.S. Marines for that. I mean, there are people like this, I mean, I can't relate, but there are people like this. But I guess like if you are a nation and you need people to defend your nation, I guess you're like more power to them, right? You need people to fight the wars. Or so God created different kinds of people with different kinds of interests, which makes the world interesting. But from scientists' perspective, they're curious about what COVID-19 can do, right? So you may not be able to relate to the scientists, especially pure scientists, but for some of them, this is the greatest thing that happened to them in their life. Like for some scientists, COVID-19 is the most exciting thing that happened. And I wouldn't be surprised if some scientists are downplaying the problem just because they want people to like move around and get infected so they could study like what happens. Because if everybody's shutting down, right? If everybody shut down, then less people are going to get infected, less people are going to die, right? Then from a scientist perspective, it's hard to study how people die because you need people to die. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like U.S. Marines, people who join to fight a war. If they have 4 years that they're serving as U.S. Marine, there's no war, they don't get to kill anybody. Some of those people who join the Marines to kill people in a war zone, like legit kills as a Marine, they're going to be disappointed. They're like, oh man, 4 years, all peace. We never got to go to war. There will be like Marines like that, or even in Air Force, Navy, and Army. Right? There are people who join because they want to be involved in a war. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are scientists who kind of downplay the COVID-19 problem, so that they could kind of be able to study the dead people. Because you can't study the dead people if everybody's shutting down and less people are dying, right? So for me, I'd rather have people live. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Why make United States of America into lab experiment states of America? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I say shut it down, shut every place down that has COVID-19 spreading, flatten the curve. That's my motto, flatten the curve. Yeah, it's a timeless motto for pandemic, flatten the curve. Yeah, because you have a curve, that means you're going to have exponential death. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take a genius to understand that if you have more cases, you're going to have more death. More cases, more death. More cases, more death. More cases, more death, right? It doesn't take a genius to understand you have more cases, you're going to have more death. We have 951 people who died in America, just in our country, United States of America, in the last 24 hours. Yes, yes. Yeah, so we're at 227,703 deaths, and we have 8,859,642 cases. So COVID-19 is not going to go away for this reason. As long as they have human hosts, they're not going to go away, right? In order for COVID-19 to go away, you have to have 0 human hosts, right? Then it could just die out. But look, we have 330 million American citizens. It's only infected what? Less than 10 million. That's like what? Less than 0.3% of America has been infected so far. 10% of America is 30 million. So it's not going to go away. At this rate, at this slow, you think this rate is fast, but in the whole cosmic scheme of things, it's a slow rate. Because it hasn't infected even let me guess. 300 million, 10% is 30 million, 1% is 3 million. So it did infect 3%. It's not 0.3%, it's 3%, because 300 million, 10% is 30 million, 1% is 3 million. So 3% of America has been infected so far. So it's not 0.3%. So I make that correction. 3% of America has been corrected so far, but it's not even 10% yet, which means it's going to continue. You need like minimum what? 230 million or so infected with the same virus, even before you could even think about like herd immunity. At this rate, we're not going to get there until like what? 2027, 2028. If there's an exponential growth, maybe faster, but and the problem is COVID-19 is mutating. So it's not like a stagnant virus, it's mutating, which is the the strangest thing about COVID-19 is how it's versatile and volatile it is. So it may not work, you know? Herd immunity may never work because of its volatility. We have not developed herd immunity against hepatitis C virus. We have not developed herd immunity against the HIV virus. We have not developed herd immunity against the flu, the common flu. Reason being, they mutate every year. So how are you going to develop a herd immunity to a flu virus that mutates every year? Yes, it's still influenza A, the same virus, but it mutated so much that you are vulnerable to it, even though you got a flu shot last year. And the flu shot you get this year may not protect you fully from influenza A, even though the vaccine was made for influenza A, based on last year's influenza A and projecting into this year's influenza. Do you see what I'm saying? So COVID-19 may never go away. You may never, ever have herd immunity against COVID-19, even if 100% of your population gets COVID. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. No herd immunity ever. So the reason I'm the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century is I bring together facts and figures, analysis using different approaches, right? Whereas a person like Dr. Fauci using just infectious diseases is limited because he's looking with just he's looking within one box. He can't see outside of his box. That's infectious diseases, right? He's imprisoned in his box called infectious diseases, right? But me, I mean, I'm an expert in so many fields, and I am special in that I can bring together different boxes, break down the walls, and synthesize. True genius, I mean, I'm a true genius, and true genius is able to synthesize and analyze at a high level, right? The highest level is analysis. And the ability to analyze accurately, that's what makes you truly great. And I have been accurate with COVID-19 because my various expert fields, I combine them to give you an analysis. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm so treasured and valued in the United States. I would be surprised if I'm designated as a national treasure by FBI and protected as such. I'm protected by State of Israel because I'm their national treasure because I'm an expert of Jewish studies. What I say about Jewish studies is integrally necessary and important for the survival of the Jewish people around the world. So I'm protected by the Jewish state, because my research is invaluable because knowledge is power. They need my knowledge to survive as a people. You see what I'm saying? That's why you have experts. Why do you think nations protect experts? Hitler's Germany had experts who created weapons, right? And some of these people who created weapons were Nazis who were involved in the final solution, killing 6 million Jews. You know what the United States of America did with these Nazi scientists? They did not put them in prison. They did not try them. They gave them full US citizenship with full immunity and new identities. And then they brought them with the highest security clearances in the United States of America. And they paid them buku money, gave them a new life because of their expertise. They used this expertise for the final solution to kill 6 million Jews. But their expertise also includes invaluable data for US national security, right? Because knowledge is knowledge. You could use it as good or bad, right? And some knowledge that are used for bad, you want to use against your enemies. Do you see what I'm saying? Obviously, you don't want to use bad knowledge against yourself, but you want to use bad knowledge against other people. That's like a weapon, right? Right? So Nazi scientists who were at the forefront of killing 6 million Jews, They were given full immunity by U.S. government. It's same with Russia. They tried to steal, Russia tried to take Nazi scientists. United States tried to steal. They're not going to try them because their knowledge is invaluable to the survival of the United States in the Cold War, right? If you kill this Nazi scientists off and their 30 years of expertise in science, USA may not survive in a Cold War against Russia. So think about it. You're United States of America. You work for Homeland Security or you work for National Security Council. You know that this scientist was a leader instrumental in getting 6 million Jews killed in the final solution. And you're Jewish. You're Jewish head of FBI division. And you know that this person killed your people, maybe even your grandpa. But you're head of FBI. And you know that this Nazi German guy's expertise may be the only thing that saves America in a Cold War against Russia. Were you going to kill him? Think about it. Because past is the past. You can't save the lives of 6 million Jews who got killed, but you have what? Your wife and your children, and your grandchildren will be born to your children, right? So this Jewish FBI director will not do anything to kill this Jewish Nazi scientist who killed his maybe grandpa, grandma, aunts, and uncles in Germany, because he's thinking not about the dead relatives, but those who are living now. Do you see what I'm saying? Knowledge is power. There's no doubt about it. Since time memorial, nobody was idiotic enough to kill the experts. I mean, geez, you have to be an idiot to kill off experts who can secure your nation's future. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what crime they committed. You see what I mean? That's why knowledge is power, because when certain scientists reach certain level of expertise, it doesn't matter what crimes they commit. You can't kill them. You can't put them in prison because they're so valuable to your nation and your nation's security, your nation's survival. We're talking about like 330 million American citizens surviving. You see what I'm saying? Obviously everybody in the security industry understands what I'm saying. Like ordinary citizens, they may not, they're like, oh, we should kill those people, even if our nation goes, to the pits. You know what I'm saying? That's why that's why you're not the director of FBI. You talk like that. You see what I'm saying? That's why you'll never have national security clearance, because you think with your heart and emotion, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to put you at the top of security for Homeland Security if you think like this. You see what I'm saying? You'll be eliminated from any kind of security top position at the very grassroots level. You'll fail all the tests, because in a basic human ethics test, you may pass with 100%, but your very ethics will damn you in the security industry. Nobody wants a security expert who's willing to jeopardize 330 million people because he's so bent on electrocuting or executing on the electric chair a Nazi scientist who was instrumental in getting 6 million people killed. You see what I'm saying? Nobody's going to hire you into top security job in any nation. America, Germany, England, I mean, we call James Bond what? License to kill. James Bond 007, license to kill. Why do you think we say that? But, yeah. So if you want to go into security industry, you better not bring your baggage in, because you'll be eliminated at level 1. You're not going to get the security clearance. But anyway, but in hospitals, obviously it's different. We like to save lives. So the morality and ethics that operates in hospitals is very different from the morality and ethics that operate in CIA, Homeland Security, NSA, CIA. You know what I'm saying, If you see Bourne Identity, Bourne Ultimatum, CIA agents go around killing people. I mean, that's what James Bond does, license to kill. What do you think that means? You think James Bond has license to kill like deer? No. But So if you don't want to be killing anybody, don't go into security industry. Don't go into the military establishment, right? I mean, right? Think about it. I mean, if you're going to be a soldier, you're going to kill somebody in a war. Yeah. So, but if you don't want to kill anybody, become a nurse. It's an industry that saves lives. Um, and like Children's National Hospital. I share some photos of you from photos from Hoyathon. I'm an executive board member of Hoyathon 2019. We raised money for Children's National Hospital. We raised 60,000 this time around, and I was the first non-undergraduate, like college, bachelor's program executive board member. They created a position just for me because they like me. What can I say? I'm like timeless. I make history. I mean, geez, I like make history just by being the first non-undergraduate bachelor student to be an executive board member. That's like making history in Hoyathon. You know what I'm saying? Just that alone, puts me in a history book in Georgetown University. Yeah, so I have my hand around the current president of Hoyathon 2020. She's in the School of Nursing and Health Studies. She's not a nursing major, but she's like healthcare major. And so yeah, Hanan. Yeah, she's great. She's wonderful. She was in the executive board, and we had a lot of fun, and she became the president. Next to that is Starry Wilson. I always wonder if she's like related to President Wilson. It's the same name, Wilson. I mean, I won't be surprised if she is, because I think we have people like who are related to like descendants of presidents, which is cool. I mean, one of the donors is the president of Lyndon B. Johnson's daughter. Went to the nursing school at Georgetown, and she ended up marrying somebody. So she left the nursing program early, I think. But she gave us like $1 million. Yeah, this summer, 2020 summer. So she and I think her children went to Georgetown. So Lyndon B. Johnson's daughter, yeah, was like in the nursing school at Georgetown. Yeah, my nursing school. So Starry Wilson, maybe she's like related to President Wilson. I like President Wilson. It was Presbyterian. I'm Presbyterian. I should ask her though, and she's really nice. And next to that, you see Sari like keeping in, I'm doing one of those. It's almost prophetic. More cases, more death. That movement there. But anyway, yeah. So Sari's kind of peeping in. She's getting to the photo. So she has a cute side to her. She's funny. And next to that, we have a couple other executive board members, very nice people. There were seniors, so they graduated. I guess they were seniors. Yeah, and then so fourth year college students, bachelor's program. And above that is like an editor of Bossier, which is a magazine for women. So it's like a feminist literary magazine at Georgetown. She's the editor. And so she's great. Olivia Jimenez. Olivia Jimenez from Florida. She's great. She's wonderful. I really like her. So yeah, but she graduated 2020. It really sucks because I made so many great friends and I was going to do a lot of fun stuff with like them. A lot of them were seniors. And then like March, everything shut down. I'm like, what? I could have done so many fun things with Sari Wilson, Olivia Jimenez, and Hanan and others. Well, Hanan's a senior this year, I think. She's either a senior this year or junior this year. But yeah, we could have done like so many fun things. Oh well. Anyway, there are top 5 from Asia. India is number 1 for COVID-19 cases, and that is 8,040,203 cases, and at 1% death rate. It's only 1% of the cases dying, but look at the numbers, right? More cases, more death. More cases, more death. More cases, more death. More cases, more death. Yeah, so it's 120,527 people in India have died. Yeah, it's bad. Look how disproportionately large and huge India's cases are. Yeah, it's a little bad. It's a little embarrassing for India, I have to say. Prime Minister of India. But anyway, Bangladesh is number 2 with 404,760 cases, 1% death rate, 5,886 people have died. Indonesia is third, 404,048 cases, at 3%, right? Percentage is higher. The numbers of cases are similar. The death is like 3%, 3 times higher. And Bangladesh, right? 13,701 deaths. Philippines, it's they're coming around. I would worry if I'm living in Philippines or something. I have relatives in Philippines. 376,935 cases, 7,147 people have died, 2% death rate, and it's keep going up, which is what you need to worry about. Pakistan actually is doing pretty well. It was number 2, and it dropped all the way down to number 5. 331,108 cases, 6,775 deaths so far, 2% death rate. So today, I guess my theme is sports spiking COVID-19. That's my question. So first article was Houston Texans close team facility after player test positive for COVID-19. This article is by Michael Miduhurst Schwartz. Come off it with like your dashes, I mean, geez, your last name is so long. Just choose one. Choose your mom's last name or choose your father's last name. Just choose one. I mean, what the heck with the dashes? Just takes up a lot of space. You know what I'm saying? Just choose one. Put it in there. We'll use that one. And then I like my last name Kim. Let's pretend, I married Olivia Jimenez. I wouldn't care if my children want to have the last name Jimenez. It's a cool last name, Jimenez. It's more poetic than Kim is a little bit, although Kim is kind of cool, Kim, but Jimenez is cooler, I think. So my children want to take their mother's name, and say like, I want to be Jimenez. I'm like, hey, more power to you. I don't care. So just choose one. I mean, Kim dash Jimenez. I mean, geez, that's like Okie. That's like hokey pokey Okie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, if I marry somebody, if I married Olivia, for example, she's a wonderful woman, I mean, any man would be lucky to marry her, obviously. So Houston Texan closed team facility after player test positive for COVID-19. The significant quote is the Houston Texans are closing down their team facility Wednesday after a player tested positive for COVID-19, the team announced. The Texans are on their bye week after a 35-20 loss to Green Bay Packers on Sunday, dropped the team to 1-6 on the season. Late last night, we received notice that a Texan player tested positive for COVID-19, the Texans said Wednesday in a statement. In accordance with the NFL protocol, the player immediately self-isolated, and our infection control officer and other members of the infection response team began working with NFL to perform contact tracing. Our facility will be closed today to players for deep cleaning. I'm glad that they're being serious about this, because Houston is like one of the hot spots. A lot of people are going to die from COVID in Houston. Maybe like, who knows? I mean, hundreds of thousands could die in Houston from COVID. So I'm glad that they're treating COVID seriously, although the mayor did not shut down the city yet, so I don't know. Second article, Justin Turner of Los Angeles Dodgers pulled from World Series after positive COVID-19 test. This is by staff on ESPN. Los Angeles Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner tested positive for COVID-19 and was pulled from the team's World Series clinching 3-1 win in Game 6 against the Tampa Bay Rays on Tuesday night in Arlington, Texas. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred confirmed a positive test after the game, telling Fox, "It's a bittersweet night for us." Yeah, it's a bittersweet thing, in any situation where somebody gets COVID. But, in the 6 months of flu season, it will be mostly bitter and sad and tragic season because so many people are going to be dying. It's not just like, oh, I got COVID, I survived. It'll be like, oh, my son got COVID and my son died, It's going to be really sad. Third article is Los Angeles County highly likely watch parties celebration for Lakers NBA Finals win contributed to COVID-19 spike. Anytime you get together with your buddies and celebrate, hey, that's where COVID is. Yeah. Wherever 2 or 3 are gathered, that's where COVID is. You know what I'm saying? Do not get together with your friends, you know? Do not get together with your relatives who don't live with you. You know, as I've said many times, many times over months and months of period, the way you're going to survive COVID is by hunkering down in your household, right? Whoever is in your household, to socialize with them physically in person. Anybody outside of that household, you just socialize with like internet, you know, like Zoom or, Skype. Yeah. Because, that's the only way you're going to survive COVID. I mean, let's be honest here. We have 6 more months of flu season to go. How are you going to survive? Can I get a 5 on surviving COVID? Give me a 5 on surviving COVID. Give me 5. I mean, you have to decide what your motive is, what you really want. Do you want to survive COVID-19 or not? You have to decide that, right? You have to decide what you want out of your life, right? I mean, some things are worth risking, right? There are a lot of guys who risk death for one night quote in heaven. They say, I don't think you shouldn't have sex unless you're married, obviously, according to the Bible. But there are guys who are willing to sacrifice all kinds of stuff. How many guys do you think will not have sex if there's no condom, even though there are all these sexual transmitted diseases, infections around? They could even get HIV and die. How many men do you think will say, "Oh, I'm not going to have a sex with a beautiful woman because there's no condom"? I mean, show me one. Show me one. You know what I'm saying? So, like people take risks, especially guys. When it comes to girls, they take risks all the time. But you just have to decide for yourself, what kind of risk are you willing to take? Are you willing to die for COVID? Under what circumstances are you willing to take the risk to get COVID and die from COVID? You have to make the decision for yourself. Limits are different from everybody. You have to go with what's comfortable with you, right? But if you want like the best possible way to survive, obviously the best possible way to survive is hunkering down and socializing just with your social unit, like just with your household. I mean, it's hard, but I mean, if surviving 6 months of COVID-19 is the most important thing to you, that's what you would do. You see what I'm saying? You have to decide what's most important for you, your family, and for your children. Third article, Los Angeles County highly likely watch parties, as I've read before, just reading it again, celebrations for Laker NBA parties, NBA Finals win contributed to COVID-19 spike. It's when you are celebrating or when you are sad, that's when all the tragedies happen. Not just at a communal level, even on a personal level. Just think about back in your life. When did you make the greatest mistakes? When you are celebrating something or when you are depressed and sad about something, right? That's when you make mistakes that you would not normally make. So it's like that in communal setting as well. So this article is by Josh Peter, USA Today. And the significant quote is, the Los Angeles Lakers winning the NBA Finals coincided with a spike in COVID-19 cases in Los Angeles County, and it's highly likely watch parties held by Laker fans and the victory celebration outside Staples Center contributed to the spike, the LA County Department of Public Health said. Of course, I mean, geez, wherever 2 or 3 are gathered, that's where COVID is. That has fueled concern of another potential spike in COVID-19 transmission rates because the Los Angeles Dodgers are one victory away from winning their first World Series title in 32 years. Sometimes a blessing can be a curse. Yes, a blessing can be a curse. My mom said something which I thought was like interesting. I mean, because mom talking to the son, and sometimes you get shocked by what mom say. I don't know if you other sons out there have had that experience, but I have. And you know what my mom said? And I told my mom, I said, I love beautiful women. You know, I'm honest with my mom. You know, I love beautiful women. You know, and you know what my mom said? She said, all men want beautiful women. So if a woman is beautiful, the tragedy of a beautiful woman is that she's probably been touched by a lot of different men. I'm like, Mom, what? Huh? You know, I'm like, you know, when mom tells you, when my mom tells something like that, it's like, whoa, what happened here? You know what I'm saying? It's like out of the blue. It's like, I was like, and she said it with like a straight face. You know, I guess, I guess moms want their sons to like, I don't know what she wants from her. I mean, I guess moms want their sons not to get hurt. I guess that's where she's coming from, you know? And my sisters tell me like, I don't know where my sister get this, you know? They're women and I guess I should trust what they say. But my sister's like, you know, all women, uh, you know, what did she say? My sister told me this. She said, all women are evil. I'm like, what? But all women are angels. You know, that's what I say. All women are angels. But my sister's like, oh no, no, all women are evil. I'm like, what? I mean, what is she saying? I can't see what she's saying. You know what I mean? But anyway, I don't know. You know, my sister and my mom, I don't know what they're saying. I don't know if I should believe them. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hi mom, hi sisters. Hopefully they're not mad. But you know, I mean, because of COVID-19, I'm not going home for Thanksgiving, so they can't really be mad. I mean, they could be mad remotely. You know, I could take it. You can yell at me like across the screen. You know, but yeah. Oh, but I miss you guys. You know. But you know what can you do? You know, COVID-19 is COVID-19. I don't want to be the source of my mom's death. That's why I'm not going home for Thanksgiving. I love my mom. I don't want to go home for Thanksgiving and then I get a call from my dad like a week later. Your mom has COVID. You know, I'll be like, I'm sorry, Dad. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in that situation. No, 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 no. You know what I mean? I mean, geez, my mom's young enough; she could survive like 10 more years. I mean, I just don't want to be the cause of my mom's COVID-19 death. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll be. I think that'll be the most tragic thing if you become the source of your mom's COVID-19 death. I don't think there's anything more tragic during COVID-19 era than that. You know what I mean? Like you go home for Thanksgiving, and a week later your mom gets COVID and dies because, like, you guys, whoever you are, your mom's like older, right? Like if you're 22, your mom may be like 42. If she married late, she may be like 52. She may even be like 62, right? I mean, geez, do you want that on your like conscience for the rest of your life? Man, you'd be like one traumatized person. Harry the owl says he's just traumatized just hearing about it. Yeah, that's how serious it is. But anyway, well, I'm glad you tuned into my show. It's a daily show, so check back tomorrow. I'll bring you more helpful information on how to survive COVID-19 for yourself and your family and your mother. Mama, mama, mama. You know, they say like all guys are like mama's boys. Is that true, you think? Mama, mama, mama. You know the mama that I like the most is dinosaurs. It's like show that they had like long time ago, like little dragons. Like is it dragons? Dinosaurs? Yet what? They're dinosaurs. The show is called Dinosaurs, and they have like little baby going mama, mama. You should see that show if you haven't seen it. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or somewhere. Dinosaurs. Mama, mama. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So for now, I will bid you adieu in the words of a nation that has just shut down, France. Viva la France. See ya. See you tomorrow.